Welcome to Sunday School for Sunday, November 16th, 2025. For our junior students ages 9 to 11, I do not own the rights to this music. Today's Bible basis is coming out of Acts chapter 16, verses 1 through 5, and then verses 8 through 15. The title of today's story, Antonio Hears God's Voice. Class, I'm going to divide you into 3 groups, explained Mrs. Ross. Each group will research one of the 3 African American writers. I will write on the board. Mrs. Ross wrote on the board the names Langston Hughes, W.E. Webb Du Bois, and Toni Morrison. Mrs. Ross made Antonio captain of Group A and gave his group Langston Hughes to study. Captains, it's your job to pick the members of your writing group, shared Mrs. Ross. Antonio loved writing and knew immediately that he wanted Jean, Toni, and Nina in his group. Not only were they his close friends, but they were really smart too. He had one more student to choose, but he didn't know who he wanted. Christopher, who joked so much that he might not get the work done. Patrice, who often says she doesn't like any of them, or Douglas, the new student from Australia. Antonio looked at Douglas, and he felt like God was telling him to choose him. Antonio chose Douglas. To his surprise, Douglas was a bookworm who had just read the collected poems of Langston Hughes. Needless to say, Group A had the best report. Antonio was so excited that he listened to the voice of God. Have you ever felt God directing you to make a choice? Explain how you felt when you made that choice. How friendly are you to strangers? Discuss how quickly you can make friends, or you make friends. Sometimes you may have to include outsiders and strangers to accomplish your goal. You never know how they can help you succeed. Apostle Paul welcomed an unlikely candidate named Timothy to his missionary team. Acts chapter 16, verses 1 through 5, and then verses 8 through 15. Then came he to Derbe and Lystra, and behold, a certain disciple was there, named Timotheus, the son of a certain woman, which was a Jewess, and believed, but his father was a Greek, which was well reported of by the brethren that were at Lystra and Iconium. Him would Paul have to go forth with him, and took and circumcised him because of the Jews which were in those quarters, for they knew all that his father was a Greek. And as they went through the cities, they delivered them the decrees for to keep, that were ordained of the apostles and elders, which were at Jerusalem. And so were the churches established in the faith, and increased in number daily. And they passing by Mysia came down to Troas, and a vision appeared to Paul in the night. There stood a man of Macedonia, and prayed him, saying, Come over into Macedonia and help us. And after he had seen the vision, immediately we endeavored to go into Macedonia, assuredly gathering that the Lord had called us forth to preach the gospel unto them. Therefore, loosing from Troas, we came with a straight course to Samothracia, and the next day to Neapolis, and from thence to Philippi, which is the chief city of that part of Macedonia, and a colony. And we were in that city abiding certain days. And on the Sabbath we went out of the city by a riverside, where prayer was wont to be made. And we sat down and spake unto the women which resorted thither. And a certain woman named Lydia, a seller of purple, of the city of Thyatira, which worshipped God, heard us, whose heart the Lord opened, that she attended unto the things which were spoken of Paul. And when she was baptized and her household, she besought us, saying, If ye have judged me to be faithful to the Lord, come into my house and abide there. And she constrained us. Langston Hughes was a Harlem Renaissance poet. On a sheet of paper, write a 7-line poem about what you learned today using the following words. Vision, Macedonia, Paul, Timothy, Prayer, Worshipper, Heart, Baptized, Journey, Grew, and Church. The memory verse for today's lesson. And after he had seen the vision, immediately we endeavored to go into Macedonia, assuredly gathering that the Lord had called us for to preach the gospel unto them. And that's Acts chapter 16, verse 10. You are taking a Jesus journey where you will tell others about Christ. You also will take others with you. On a sheet of paper, write a list to include who are you taking with you, what places would you like to go, choose a new and different person to go with you. Your destinations might include a local park or store, an after-school activity you are involved in, or even a group of people you think God wants you to talk to. You and your companion will share Jesus with people on your journey together. Take the list you prepared for your Jesus journey and prepare to go on that journey this week. Write in a journal everything that happens, just like Paul did on his journey. Share with the class next week. The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.